Y'all, let's have a talk about self-sabotage and figure out how we can stop selling our own bag. And since I've been told that one of the ways that I sabotage myself is by being a yapper, I'm going to challenge myself to do this in under 5 minutes, starting now. Alright guys, as you all just heard, I am no stranger when it comes to self-sabotage. One of the biggest examples of this in my life, as goofy as it is from when I was 11 years old and I'd see my older siblings always doing chores like cleaning the kitchen and washing dishes. And I'd see them do it, and since I wanted to be like them, I'd say, hey, Mom, Dad, I want to wash dishes, I want to clean the kitchen. And they'd always say no, so I wouldn't go around breaking stuff and because I wouldn't clean things properly. But one fateful day when I asked, probably the 1,000,000th time when I was 11 years old, they said, yes, you can. And they actually taught me how to do so. And what I didn't realize I just did was added the two craziest, most insufferable hours to my week that I would ever have. And now I'm in the position now to where I realize I should have just been quiet and not said anything about them dishes. I mean, who sits there and says, hey, I want to do chores? Yo, I more than sabotage myself there. I could have had at least 2 or 3 more years out of it of getting by, which probably isn't the right mentality, but I definitely did sabotage myself in that situation. And now let's pause for a sec. Typically, we see 2 types of self-sabotage. The first being what I call accidental, which is when you have good intentions, but you end up making things worse for yourself without trying to, like with my chores, for example. Then the second is incidental self-sabotage, which is when you do something wrong and it backfires on you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's that type of self-sabotage where you try and finesse the system, but the system finesses you. And the reason why these happen is because of what the Bible calls the battle of flesh versus spirit. Now, flesh is simply our nature to sin. It's our nature to mess up, right? We all know that none of us are perfect people, and that's due to our flesh, or in other words, our sinful nature. However, the Spirit is God's Holy Spirit. It's the Spirit that Christians have, and one of its main purposes is to help us in our journey with God and to point us to Him. But the thing about it is that these two, as you just heard, are completely opposite in nature, and they're always at war. And I get that insight from Galatians chapter 5, verses 16 through 17. And it says, so I let the Holy Spirit, or it says, so I say, let the Holy Spirit guide your lives. Then you won't be doing what your sinful nature craves. The sinful nature wants to do evil, which is the opposite of what the Spirit wants. And the Spirit gives us desires that are opposite of what the sinful nature desires. Then the verse goes on to tell us that these two forces are constantly fighting each other. So this begs the question, why can't we always choose the Spirit and not the flesh? Or if we rephrase that, why can't we not sabotage ourselves? And the reason why is because it is hard not to. It's hard to choose the Spirit over flesh. It's hard to put down the Dubai chocolate and eat healthy. It's hard to work out instead of being lazy. It is difficult to actually get out of the bed instead of pressing snooze. It's hard to go and work and take care of what you need to do instead of procrastinating and doom scrolling. Hey, I've got one. I'll admit this is me right here and I need to work on this. It is hard to not say the thing that just popped into your mind that's low-key out of pocket and would have the whole squad laughing, but would hurt someone in the process. Fleshly decisions are easy and spiritual decisions are difficult. But there's a reason why those easy decisions are so appealing and they look so great and so enticing. And that is this truth right here. That is the truth that the Spirit leads to life and the flesh leads to destruction. If we think about this old saying right here, nothing easy is worth doing and nothing worth doing is easy. So how can we get away from the flesh and to the Spirit? Well, the answer is in Colossians chapter 3. It's in the first 4 verses. And the answer is to simply shift your focus. Don't look at your sin. Don't think about your sin. Think about God. Don't think about unrighteous things or how you wish you didn't do this thing, but instead think about the good things that you could do. Think about God. If you're driving a car, you should be looking out of the front windshield so you can see where you're going, so you can see where you're trying to get to. Instead of driving it forward and looking out your back windshield, if that happens, if you're on the interstate looking out your back windshield, you are going to crash. It's as simple as that. Shift your focus on to God. All right, y'all, that is really all I have. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to listen to what I have to say. Hey, that rhymes. That's pretty fire. Anyway, if you agreed with anything I said, if anything resonated with you, or even if you disagreed, I want to hear it all. Please let me know in the comments and I will make sure to get back to you. And as for that timer, let's see, 4 minutes and 52 seconds. I'm going to be quiet so I do not fail my challenge.